Nicole, you may not know this, but you got a speech that I'd only written like the night before. And Abby kind of called and said, we need this, we need more. This is the kind of actress we got, and we need to give her this. We need to give her something. And so I remember as Abby was sat with, and literally it was one of those that we kind of sent out into the heavens and said, all right.
Hi, I'm Jazz Tanke, Senior Artisans Editor at Variety, and joining me in the Variety Virtual Sundance Studio presented by Audible is the cast and crew of the film 892. Hello and welcome to you all. Abby, I'd love to start with you, and Kwame, where did you first learn about Brian's story? Because this is obviously based on a true story.
I was driving down a side street in Los Feliz, and I got the article popped up on my phone, pulled over to the side of the road and read it. It's a very long article. And my heart was broken for Brian, for our veterans, for the reflection of my dad's story that I saw in the article. And I knew it had to be told. And we wanted to tell it honestly with every nuance of Brian's story. So I reached out to Kwame, and his heart reached out to it as well.
Yeah, it just so happened that I was in Los Angeles and we share management, Max, and he said you should meet this woman, Abby. She's kind of fantastic, and I'd seen her short film, and I really responded to it. And then I read the article actually on the drive to meet her, and when I got there, I was just like, please, can we do this? As you know, and thank you for your compliment about the movie, that it is a story that needed to be told. It's a story that he walked into that bank saying, I need to be told, and I need to be amplified in the most, in the loudest of fashions. And to have the talents of John, Nicole, of Olivia, of Michael, led by Abby, telling this story, amplifying his heart song, is like, it's moving for me.
John, your performance in this is so powerful. It still is sitting with me hours after I've seen the film. What was your entry point into playing this character?
Actually, years ago, Kwame had sent me the script via my agent. One thing led to another, and then I was in Atlanta, and I got a call, and then they said that they were available with obviously the quickest turnaround time that I had ever experienced on prep for a movie. But they were just like, get your ass down to LA. Let's try and do something. Let's try and make something magical. I think the first instance I knew it could be achieved because, just in terms of the logistics, everything, we were in one place mostly, obviously in the bank. And at the same time, as Kwame said, this story is so important. And I felt like, this story is a story that I had never heard about. I was so shocked that it happened so recently too. So to be a part of, essentially Brian's ever ongoing legacy of wanting his story to be told, I was like, well, here's one way to engage with a story that's so deep and important. And one thing led to another, and then we were all of a sudden on set and getting to it.
Olivia and Nicole, just as powerful performances from each of you. Talk about getting the script and what it was that struck you about, Brian's story and ultimately, your characters.
I think I was just shocked that I had never heard the story before, and that not many people were talking about Brian, or they hadn't heard his name before. And then of course Abby with her plethora of information, it was really easy to connect to her and this story and the need for it to be told. So I think it kind of just went from there.
In speaking with Abby, I have on my father's side and my mother's side, servicemen. And some of them have actually returned and been different as well. Not maybe to this extent. So having read the script, of course, the script is brilliant and it's telling the story very beautifully, but I've actually seen some of this in varying degrees and just knew that it was something that I needed to do. I also want to comment on this turnaround because John showed up. I John was so wonderful. I don't know how he was able to embody what we just saw with like literally days of preparation. I've been thinking of that lately. Like, I don't, cause we all had to, come in last minute cause things were shifting, but, what beautiful work, like what a real, generous and dedicated, offering. And I think that that's really what it felt like. It felt like everybody had the same intention, to get behind erasing the erasure, if that makes sense.
John, to Nicole's point, I'm going to ask you, like, how did you prepare to play Brian in such a short, like she said, a short matter of days?
When Abby had contacted me, just where I was at, I think that creatively I had the versatility and the ambition to spend on this role. It just, I don't know, there was something about Brian's story. There's something about the combination of the actors, Kwame's passion, Abby's detail, and obviously her creative direction that just, for me, was a good holding to just, take me through the process, to make sure time wasn't an issue. And by the time I knew it, I was on set, and I felt like everybody anyway was very centered in their character and the representation of their character. Just even reading the script for the first time, it made me take myself out of my circumstance and my perspective and think about what it's like to live in another situation. It made me kind of empathize with the pain of going to another nation, fighting for your country, and only to come home and know that you don't have that support. And so in that, it does definitely affect my decision making, and it's a very, very important topic. At the same time, as a topic, it's going to rub people in many ways, especially emotionally. But it's for us to take the fundamental lesson of empathy and use that how you will in your each individual unique lives.
I think we're all very connected to the different sides of the story that, like, this character, Estelle, kind of straddles the line. She's in between the worlds of being a part of the corporation, but also really empathizing with Brian and wanting him to survive. Like, you're not going to die today. Like that can't be a part of the story.
An incredible performance is given by the late, great Michael Kenneth Williams. What was it like working with him and, looking back now and seeing his performance in 892?
I'm just so grateful that we had the joy that he brought to the character of Bernard, and that will live on, the depth of his seeing the other, that will live on in that, because it's something I want to take away personally, of just, hey, it doesn't matter how busy you are, just like look to your neighbor and see how you can see them and see their needs.